Hey, welcome. Welcome on this Friday. That's a Fact Check Friday. Today we're talking about the importance of reading the entire article. Got some echo there. When fact checking, it's like coffee, you know? To fully appreciate it, you have to take time to savor every sip. Now let's talk about headlines, folks. It's like the trailer to a movie. It's designed to pique your interest, but it doesn't always give you the full picture. It's easy to jump to conclusions based on these headlines, but if we take time to read the entire article, we often find that things aren't as black and white as they seem. Let's be honest, we all have our biases, right? Like drinking coffee with a whole bunch of sugar in it. May taste good, but it masks the true flavor. By reading the entire article, we gain a more nuanced perspective on the issue. And when we form opinions based on incomplete information, we risk making hasty and ill-informed judgments. It's like trying to solve a complex math problem, but without knowing what the variables are. Look, if you don't have time to read a short article, you really don't have time to make an opinion. Okay? Life's too short for bad coffee, but it is long enough to just finish the damn article. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Hey, all right. Oh man, Friday, February 24th, another day. I am a bit under the weather, so I'm a bit loopy today. But as there's a foot of snow outside my door, I'm not going anywhere, so I'm just going to hang out and get better. I do want to talk about reading the whole article, and this is something that we all tend to do. We just look at the article, look what people are saying about it, and we just take that as fact. So often I have, upon reading the entire article, there's actually no need to fact check it. It's all in there, but they know you don't read the whole thing. And often the author of the story doesn't even write the headline. The headlines are get you to click. The headlines are get you to share the article. And often the headline doesn't even reflect what is in the article. So, you know, people ask me, Tom, how do you fact check stuff? Step one is just to read the entire thing, because paragraph 17 is going to give you the information that you really need that contradicts the headline. Now, I could really make a stronger case here if I had some examples of that. But this is what I don't know, we need a name for it. But, you know when you go to the garage because your car is making this noise, and then you get to the garage and it stops making that noise? Right? This happens all the time. There should be a name for this phenomenon, the, auto repair phenomenon or something. But, that's what I was like. I was trying to find an article that did this so I could demonstrate it to you this morning, but I couldn't find it. It's like going to the auto shop and it stops making the noise. This morning, all the articles were actually legit. So, but that's something just to keep a lookout for when you're trying to fact check things for yourself. Now, I do have a number of good, interesting stories today. We're going to talk about an Ohio plane crash. You may have heard about this on social media. Were they going to investigate the train crash? And now they're all dead. Oh my, this reeks of conspiracy. Or does it? The FBI is recommending AdBlock, and that gets me to think that maybe I should take AdBlock off of my computer. Talk about the video game Atomic Heart, what the controversy around that is. Nigerian elections are coming up tomorrow, so I have something to say about that. And we got some good news, and that's making playing outside for kids legal. So I think you're going to want to hear that. Again, thanks for joining the stream, hitting the like button, sharing this. Hopefully we can get some people watching today. But I am so pleased that you are taking the time to share your day with me. It means a lot to me. And let's get into this first story, which is a fact check on this plane crash. Okay. Here we go. And this is from Snopes. Now, as much as I have dissed Snopes in the past, it's hashtag not all. Not everything that Snopes does is BS. Just about half of it. You know, half the time they actually do really good stuff. So here's the fact check. Did 5 environmental scientists flying to East Palestine, Ohio, die in a plane crash? The plane reportedly was departing from Little Rock, Arkansas on the 22nd, so 2 days ago. So the claim, and again, when we do fact checks, we need to be very clear. What's the claim that we're checking here? The claim is 5 environmental scientists en route to the train derailment disaster in East Palestine, Ohio, were killed in a plane crash. And they rate that as false. Let's look at the context why. 5 environmental scientists did die in a plane crash, but they were traveling to work at the site of an explosion at a metals factory in Ohio, unrelated to the East Palestine derailment. So this came about, this was reported by KATV. All 5 people on board a small aircraft departing from Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport in Little Rock died shortly after takeoff Wednesday afternoon, authorities said. The twin-engine plane en route to the John Glenn International Airport in Columbus, Ohio, crashed outside a 3M plant only a couple miles from the Little Rock Airport shortly after 12 p.m. So there were some people stirring stuff up on Twitter, and, you know, people are legitimately concerned, but they just automatically assumed that they were going to check out the train derailment that happened in East Palestine. So as, let's see, CETH, I guess that's the company. The consulting agency, CTEH, that's the name of the environmental consulting agency. They told reporters all employees were traveling to the site at an Ohio metals plant that sustained an explosion on February 20th. So that's the central premise of the story, is they were flying to a metals explosion plant, not to the train derailment. And so the basic tenet of this entire thing is not true. And, you could say that it's fishy, or you could say that, I'm not sure about that. Maybe they actually were going to the train derailment site. But according to the consulting firm where they all worked, they weren't going there. And I want to bring this point up, and I wish everyone would do this. It's so simple. I think for the most part, not everybody's lying. Okay? Unless proven otherwise, I think just take a charitable explanation from someone. And I think for the most part, most of the time you're going to be right then. So in this case, the company said, no, they weren't traveling there. They were traveling to this other thing. Cool. That's all I need. I just need a simple explanation that can explain this. And often with conspiracies, they get really complicated. And I just wish people would come out and just give a simple explanation. Okay, no, here's why it's wrong. We weren't going there. We were actually going to a different part of the state. It's sad and tragic that they all passed. but they weren't going to the train derailment site. Simple explanation, and just accept a simple explanation. Wouldn't it be great if Joe Biden could just give a simple explanation for things? But, that's never happened. But if someone offers a valid explanation and you have no reason to distrust them, just go with it. That's going to make your life a lot easier. I think 99% of the time, that's the right decision to make. And in this case, I think it's the right decision to make as well. I've often criticized Snopes because they are not charitable in their explanation. Sometimes they will intentionally misinterpret what someone said. But in this case, it seems to be on the up and up, and you don't need to worry. There's lots of conspiracies surrounding the train derailment, but this particular plane crash is not one of them. And I did, and so this little interstitial between stories, this was filmed yesterday. I took a walk, and it looks like the forest, but it's actually a golf course. So I'll let you check that out as we get to the next story. All right. FBI. They're now recommending an ad blocker when you're searching the web. And immediately this just this just gets me excited because on general principle, I do the opposite of what three-letter agencies tell me to do. But let's see what they say here. The FBI is warning people to use ad blockers to protect themselves against fraudulent online ads that are made to look like messages from legitimate businesses. These ads can contain links to fake websites or malicious software downloads and try to steal users' login details or financial information. By endorsing ad blockers, the FBI is acknowledging the dangers of the internet advertising environment, which is constantly targeted by cyber criminals. The agency also advises checking the authenticity of ads and searching for businesses and financial institutions by typing in their full website address. The NSA, CIA, FBI, and other U.S. intelligence agencies reportedly use network-based ad blocking technologies themselves. So, yes, I'm actually shocked at how few people use ad blockers, at least on their laptop or on their desktop. It's shocking to me. I think it's less than 15%, if I remember correctly, of people use an ad blocker. I have used one for, at least 20 years, I think. Apparently, YouTube is having an issue with the stream, but hopefully we'll work through it, and you all will stick around. So who knows? Perhaps that is the terrible weather that I have here. We'll see. We'll see. So ad blocking, though, I've been using it forever. And I do think that it's kind of fun when you go to, like, I'm checking out to MSNBC or something, and they say, oh, please support us in our journalism by turning off ads on this site. And then you can choose, yeah, I'll read without supporting. Well, in this case now, you're just saying, hey, NBC, MSNBC, I'm just doing what the FBI tells me to do. So I'm not turning off my ad blocker, MSNBC. You can suck it. So there you go. If you want to be a good citizen and follow what the three-letter agencies tell you to do, put some ad blocking on. I know that it doesn't work a lot on your phone. I'm not sure. I don't use my phone like most people use their phones. I can't see. I don't want to be out there and then putting on reading glasses and doing this with my phone to read. I'll just come home and put it on my laptop and make everything big so I can read it. So I'm not sure what ad blocking is like on phones, but now the 3-letter agencies, they're all telling you to use it. It does make you wonder, does the FBI or the CIA, have they infiltrated an ad blocking company? And now they want you to install that on your machines. Well, there's no evidence of that, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what they were going to do. And again, stick around after the outro. I'll be going through your comments and responding to them. And also, I will be touching on what I am actually doing for Lent. I said I would tell you yesterday, but I was a bit loopy and I forgot. And I will make my opera recommendation for the year. Someone asked me what my recommendation would be, and I will have that for you in the after show today. But now, let us get to the next story. Atomic Heart. It's a first-person shooter video game developed by Mundfish, set in an alternate version of Soviet Russia. It stirred controversy due to the current-day Russia-Ukraine conflict. Mundfish has been accused of having connections to Russian state-owned and state-sanctioned enterprises, and critics of the game suggest that purchasing it supports Russia's war in Ukraine, that the game is a piece of Russian propaganda, valorizing the Soviet Union, and that the game includes anti-Ukrainian elements. Oh dear. Furthermore, the Ukrainian government has reportedly requested the game's ban in the country. However, the controversy over Atomic Heart's Russian ties is not unique, as game production is increasingly globalized, and a game's success often benefits its country of origin in one way or another. So, are you all familiar with this? Are y'all familiar with this game, Atomic Heart? It just came out this week, I think Tuesday. And it looks like YouTube got an error again. So, yikes. But we'll keep plugging away. So it just came out Tuesday, I believe. It's a first-person shooter. I'm not much of a first-person shooter person myself. I've never really got into it, but I'm always open to giving it a new try. I looked it up, $70. That's a little pricey, but I guess that's what video games are today. For me, just get me the latest version of FIFA. I think I've been playing that for probably 20 years. Pretty boring in my video game choices. But Atomic Heart. But it really does get to the question of what is supporting a country and what is not supporting a country. This takes place not in current time, in Soviet times. Does it valorize Russia? I don't know. But you could say the same thing about every other first-person shooter that has American soldiers. Could there be ties to the U.S. government? Probably. Is it promoting U.S. propaganda? Yeah, probably. It probably is. But again, it's just a video game. Now, there might be another way to look at this. If you were to play this first-person shooter, you might see, realize how tragic all of this is. I don't know. I can't get in everyone's brain. And that might encourage you to root for peace. I don't know. Do you know this game? Is anyone here a first-person shooter player? And have you played Atomic Heart? I would check it out. I don't think I'd check it out for $70, but perhaps when it drops down, I'll give it a go. And I don't think necessarily if there are artists or companies in a particular country that you're supporting their war if you buy their product. I don't know. I guess a couple pennies could go to the government on taxes or something, but I think that there's a lot bigger problems in the world today. You know, kind of like, I don't know, a war that's happening right now. That's a much bigger deal than getting all bent out of shape about a video game. But that's just my take. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Oh yeah, big news. Big news. Nigerian election. And I know everyone's like, oh, I can't wait, Tom. I'm so excited about this election. Now, I get it. But millions of Nigerians will vote in one of the world's most significant and uncertain elections tomorrow, Saturday. Nigeria's economy and security have become deeper crises over the last 8 years. Over half of young people are unemployed, and 2/3 of the population live in poverty. Terrorist and secessionist groups threaten parts of the country, and kidnapping attacks have increased as the economy has worsened. The three most significant candidates in the election are Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, and Peter Obi. Obi, a former governor of the Anambra state, has attracted significant support among younger voters and has been cast as an anti-establishment candidate. So we know what happens to anti-establishment candidates here in the U.S., right? Right? They don't seem to do too well, but occasionally they win, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. The future of Nigeria. I believe that Nigeria is it the most populous country in all of Africa? It may be. I should probably double check that before I just spout it out as if it's a fact. But it definitely is one of the biggest economies in Africa as well. So I just bring up this story because I know that you're probably not hearing about this major election that's happening in one of the most important countries in a continent. So, you know, you heard a little something about it. So if something happens over there, you can always think back to, oh yeah, I heard they got a new president or something. You know, it'll be interesting to see if there's any voter fraud allegations in Africa. And if that's the case, will social media companies be clamping down on anyone talking about voter fraud in the African election in Nigeria? Perhaps not. It may all depend on who's telling them what to do, and it may depend on the result of the election. But that's what I got. But now let's get to some good news. Some good news to pull us through. All right. Let It Go is an organization working to make it legal and easy for children to engage in independent activities without being accused of neglect. They support the passage of reasonable childhood independence laws that allow kids to participate in activities like walking to school, playing outside, staying home alone as long as they're not in obvious danger. Let Grow has helped pass these laws in 4 states and is currently working on legislation in Connecticut, Illinois, Michigan, Virginia, Nebraska, Nevada, South Carolina, and West Virginia. The organization welcomes people to get involved by filling out a form on their website. Now, it is interesting to me. I don't have kids, but how parents have been attacked by leaving kids home alone or letting their kid walk to the park by themselves. it's really a different world than when I grew up. And I think nearly everyone my age would agree with me. I don't think that the world or the country has become that much more dangerous. Now, I will say in my city in particular, it has become a little bit more dangerous, but that's just in the last 2 or 3 years, based on the thousands of drug addicts that have migrated to the city. But outside of that, there's much less violent crime than there was in the 70s. Less kidnappings, less child abductions, all of that. But we have the media that is pumping everyone up full of fear. And because of this, we got a bunch of Karens calling about kids walking by themselves, going to the park by themselves. I'm not sure what year it started. I'm sure it was second grade. Maybe I walked to school by myself. And I looked it up on a map recently just to see how far it was. In my head, I walked for an hour. Turned out it was about a quarter of a mile to the school. Wasn't very far at all. But, when your legs are this long, I guess it's a much a further hike. But even growing up, my parents had a business when I was a kid. And so no one was home when I got home, and I had siblings that were younger than me. But I remember rolling home by myself in 4th grade. There was nobody home. And we would play on the streets, and we would ride bikes, and I would ride my bicycle to soccer practice, and in the summer, I'd get up before my parents got up and ride to the pool to be on swim team. Very independent back then, and I think that was really good for me. I don't know that it was good for everyone, but it was really good for me. And I would like to see kids be a little bit more independent, just being out there in the world. And I think that this is a great organization that they're trying to get some things on the books to not make it neglect if you let your kid walk to the park by themselves or let them come home by themselves. In the 80s, they called us latchkey kids because we would come home and we had a key to the house and there was no one there. I think we did okay. So I think more independence for kids is a good thing, not a bad thing. And to me, this is positive news of the day. That's all I have for you today. I hope to not be sick on Monday when I return. Stick around for the after show. I will be answering your comments and trying to give you an update on a couple of things. But I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will see you soon next time. Peace. All right, welcome everyone back for the after show. And I will just go through some of your comments. First, on Rumble, Dougo hit me up with a tip. I appreciate that, Doug. It really does mean a lot to me. He says, trust the simple explanation is a little too close to trust the science for me. Well, the science, I understand that point of view. I have to think about that. I love my ad block, but now what's more risky, phishing ads or deep state embedded software? That's a tough one. That is a tough one. I think we probably have deep state embedded software on everything that we have. So, independence is not a trait that the powers that be want to foster in children or anyone else for that matter. That's probably true. They want you to be a good servant. So, I can understand the opposition to, letting kids run around the world and make up their own mind. So for whatever reason, Odyssey was down again today. It was down yesterday, and it's down again today. I don't know if I'll keep going on Odyssey. No one seems to care about that. I might just post the video to there afterwards, and maybe I'll check out another streaming platform. If you got any ideas on any other streaming platforms that I should be putting this out on, let me know in the comments. Apothecary John, always first in the chat with the flames and the coffee. Tobias was here. I don't know what that emoji is, and I can't see what it is. There's some fires and something else. It's too far away. Hello, everybody. Coffee Gang. Hashtag Coffee Gang. Tom, what building is in the opening drone shot? The opening drone shot, the countdown, that is Ben Franklin High School here in Portland, over on Division. They rebuilt it. They did some updating to it over the pandemic, and it's reopened, and it's a really beautiful high school. They have a beautiful track. The whole facility is really nice. And so I went over there one evening and did a drone shot. But that's what that is. It's Ben Franklin. The statue up close, not very good. But that's Ben Franklin High School here in Portland. Preach, brother. I like that, Martin. Thank you. Bastille, howdy. Flames in the chat. Love it. Most people never read all the way through to the end of an article, and journalists know that and put the truth in the last few sentences. I can't read people's minds, but definitely if I was a journalist and I was trying to mislead people, but you want to cover your ass, you make sure that you put everything in the article, but the truth you just put right at the end. That way you can say, no, it was all in the article. And that is technically true. So that involves some mind reading, but I think there's a lot to that. Hey, I like the video here on my phone, but I can still like it again on my TV YouTube. I think you can. I don't know exactly how that works. Doug says, I'd give you a flame, but I'm not allowed to play with fire. Something about my past. Oh, that's good. It's like double mint gum. I can double my fun. Oh, very nice, Miranda. Thank you. I always appreciate the support and the likes. Meanwhile, really feel for people living in that train crash area. Yeah, it is. It's terrible what's there. I can't imagine what that would be like, but I would just hope that anyone that was there would just leave until you can find out. Because often these things are a lot more dangerous than they appear at first. And unfortunately, it's the poorest folks that stick around. And rich folks, if there's a disaster, they're out of town. And that's what everyone should do. I think everyone should just leave there until they can really find out the dangers that are there. And I don't think you can find it out in a day or two. Let's see. Doug is not a gamer. I don't even know what a gamer means. I guess that's someone that plays a lot of video games. I mean, I play FIFA and Sudoku, and now I'm doing online chess. So does that mean I'm a gamer? I can't remember the last time I played FIFA, but when I do, it's not like I play for hours or anything. There was a Star Wars game back then I also liked. I used to play Battlefield Bad Company years ago. That was fun. Can't compete with the younger people nowadays. Sorry, got to go. Have a disc golf tea time at 3. Oh, Doug, we'll have fun at disc golf. You know, there's some disc golf near me. It's all snow right now today. Just in time for some good news. Yeah, I think this was some good news today. I like that. Was I supporting Italian plumber racist transphobic war against turtle dragons by playing Mario Brothers? It all just depends on how they flip it. Now, I did want to say I never said what opera that I would recommend, and I meant to say it yesterday. I think a good beginner opera, if you will, if you haven't done a lot of opera, is La Boheme, classic opera. It's in 4 acts. I mean, it's kind of long, but operas are kind of long. But it's one of the most well-known operas. The story is easy to follow, and I think that would be a good one if you haven't been to many operas. I'm going to go see an opera here in Portland. I can't remember what it is. It's a modern opera. It's called like The Frog something. I forget, but I think I have tickets to something in April here. But La Boheme, that would be my Puccini's classic. That would be my recommendation if you haven't done a lot of opera. Oh, and what I'm giving up for Lent, you know, after a lot of thought, I don't eat a whole lot of processed food, but I just decided that I'm not going to eat anything out of a box. Insert your own bad joke. I'm not going to eat anything out of a cardboard box for all of Lent. I will just be eating more whole foods. Shouldn't be that hard because I don't eat a lot of processed foods anyway, but I can double down, and that's something that I can work on. Work on eating some good food. So that's my thing for Lent. Meant to say it yesterday. I was a bit loopy yesterday. I'm a bit loopy today as well. Let's see. We played outside without supervision in preschool in the 50s, says Miranda. Yeah, up until, you know, it was kind of, I think, the 24-hour news networks that started covering like child abductions and things like that, and started pushing fear all the time. It probably really took off in the 90s. I know it was around in the 80s, but I think it really took off in the 90s, where it was a fear, and it got everyone scared about things. Let's see. Lucid Moments of Reality says, I was born in 71. I was left alone when my mother worked. I always come back home when streetlights came on, and they called us latchkey kids. Yeah, that was it. Get home by the time the streetlights come on. Actually, in our neighborhood, I could hear my parents call, and everyone could hear their mom outside yell for them. Just kind of echoed through the suburb. So it wasn't hard. You didn't need a cell phone. You know, if you were close by, you could do it. But yeah, there should be laws legalizing old school merry-go-rounds too. Those merry-go-rounds, they could get a little dangerous, but again, just because something's dangerous, should it be outlawed? I don't think so. Works if you are not signed into your account. Your account only lets you like once. Okay. Well, that's good to know. On that, let's see. Tobias was over on Rumble. So Rumble represents. I agree with the hesitancy of trusting the simple explanation, Duggo. Not much is simple anymore. I'm not saying to trust the simple explanation. But if someone gives you a simple explanation and it makes sense, you're better off just going with that than some convoluted conspiracy theory. And for the most part, I have found when there is a simple explanation, a simple, honest explanation, it seems to be pretty good. Often the people that are lying to us, they don't give us a simple, they don't refute something simply. They make something complicated. And to me, that's a tell of what they're up to. But again, that's just my take on it. That's all I have for y'all today. Thanks for sticking around in the after show. I got a lot planned on trying to get this show a little better. I need to get my head working straight because right now it's like that Pink Floyd song and my head feels like a balloon. Or no, it was the hands felt like a balloon, but my head actually feels a little loopy from being ill. But I hope you all have a very healthy weekend, and I will catch you all soon. Have a beautiful weekend. Talk to you soon. Peace.